For literally thousands of years, healers have turned to plants for medicine. But what happens when that ancient wisdom goes head-to-head with modern science? Well, today, we're going to find out. We're looking at a showdown between a revered traditional herb and a nasty virus that targets our very heart.
It's a pretty terrifying question, right? I mean, when you think of a virus, you probably think of a cold or the flu, but some of them can actually go after the very engine of our body, the heart. And this isn't just some what-if scenario. It's a real and very present danger that doctors are battling every single day.
So, the specific condition we're diving into here is called viral myocarditis. You can think of it as a direct assault on our heart muscle, and really understanding this threat is the first step to figuring out how we can fight it. Okay, so what exactly is viral myocarditis, or VM? Well, it all starts when a virus manages to invade the heart. That invasion triggers a massive inflammatory response. And here's the cruel twist. Your body's own defense system, while it's trying to fight off the virus, ends up causing collateral damage to the heart's muscle tissue.
And the consequences, well, they're severe. This isn't a minor issue we're talking about. All that inflammation can lead to permanent cell damage, which can then spiral into acute heart failure. The source material is stark. VM can cause sudden death, and it's actually responsible for a staggering 10% of all sudden deaths.
Now, you'd think with something this serious, we'd have a silver bullet, right? But the reality is our current treatments are mostly supportive. They help manage the symptoms, but they don't always stop the underlying damage. And it's exactly this critical gap that's pushed scientists to look for answers, sometimes in pretty unexpected places.
Which, of course, brings us to our ancient contender. Could a solution be found not in a high-tech lab, but in the root of a plant that's been used for centuries?
Okay, so let's meet our contender, Astragalus membranaceus, or just AM for short. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's famous as a qi-tonifying herb, which is this idea of boosting your body's vital energy. From a modern scientific view, it's known for its immunomodulating properties, basically its ability to influence the immune system.
So why this particular herb? Well, it turns out it has quite a track record. It's been used for other immune-related diseases like nephritis and lupus. But here's the crucial part. Earlier studies had already hinted that it might have a protective effect on the myocardium, the heart muscle itself. The clues were definitely there.
And this, right here, is the big question. I mean, stories and historical use are great, but for modern medicine, you need cold, hard evidence. You need data from rigorous, controlled trials.
So, to get that hard evidence, researchers didn't just, run one more study. No, they went bigger. They decided to gather and analyze all of the best research ever done on this very topic.
They performed what's called a systematic review. Think of it like the ultimate private investigation for medical science. It's a method specifically designed to find, evaluate, and combine all the high-quality research on one question, all to get the clearest possible answer. And believe me, this process was incredibly rigorous. They literally started with over 1,600 potential studies. From there, they just started filtering, step by step, removing duplicates, tossing out reviews, and getting rid of anything that wasn't a top-tier randomized controlled trial. It was an exhaustive hunt for the best of the best.
So after all that intense filtering, what was left? What made the final cut? Out of all those possibilities, the evidence was whittled down to just 28 elite clinical trials.
But don't let that number fool you. It might sound small, but those 28 trials represented a huge pool of data, involving more than 2,500 different patients. And as if that wasn't enough, they also cross-referenced all that human data with 16 preclinical studies, which involved over 600 animals. This kind of comprehensive approach is what makes the final verdict so incredibly powerful.
All right, so the stage is set. The evidence is gathered. What did they find? Did this ancient herb actually hold up?
The results? Well, they were pretty striking. For patients who were only on standard treatment, their markers for heart damage stayed pretty high. But when they added Astragalus to the mix, it was a clear win. They had significantly lower levels of those damage markers. Their overall clinical recovery was way better. And, this is a big one, they saw these benefits with no increase in side effects. So here's a really simple way to think about what's happening. When your heart muscle gets injured, it releases these specific enzymes into your blood. They're basically like distress signals. What the data showed is that Astragalus helped to quiet down those signals, which suggests it was actively protecting the heart from more damage. And what's really cool is that the animal studies back this up completely.
In those preclinical models, adding AM led to higher survival rates, less actual physical damage to the heart tissue, and, just like in the humans, lower levels of those cardiac distress signals. The evidence was just consistent right across the board.
Okay, so the big question is, how is it actually doing all this? Well, the research points to a kind of four-pronged attack. First, it seems to have direct antivirus properties. Second, it acts as a powerful anti-inflammatory, calming down the body's dangerous overreaction. Third, its antioxidation effects help protect the heart cells from stress. And finally, and this could be a huge deal, it shows anti-fibrosis activity, which could prevent the harmful scarring that leads to long-term heart failure.
And all this data and analysis, it brings us to the study's powerful final statement. The findings suggested that Astragalus membranaceus is a cardioprotection candidate drug for viral myocarditis. After analyzing thousands of studies, the scientific verdict was finally in.
It's just a fascinating outcome, isn't it? An ancient herb put to the test by modern science's most rigorous methods, and it comes out showing real promise for a very serious heart condition. And it really leaves you with this incredible thought. How many other powerful treatments might be out there, just waiting to be rediscovered, hidden in the roots of our past?